Okay, so today we're tackling a pretty bold statement. Becoming smart is easy. Actually, I know, that sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? So let's dive into the source material and see what's really behind this claim.
And right out of the gate, we get this, Jim. You know the promise, right? You spend decades in school, 12 years plus college, maybe grad school, all to become smart. But the reality, according to our source, well, you might just end up homeless. But hey, with perfect English. It's a hilarious and sharp jab at the traditional path.
All right, so first things first, let's just tear down some of the common myths out there. This whole first part is about the real problem with how we usually think about getting smarter. I mean, you've seen these lists 1,000 times, haven't you? Eat some blueberries, drink black coffee, listen to Mozart, and poof, you're a genius. Our source basically says these are just superficial hacks. Sure, they might be good for you, but they're not a shortcut to intelligence. They let you avoid the real work.
And this slide just cuts right through the noise. All the superfoods in the world can't do the learning for you. Those other things are supplements, not substitutes. Because at the end of the day, you have to, actually learn stuff.
Okay, so let's get into the first real strategy. And it all begins with reading. But there's a trick to it. It's not just about what you know, it's about how you share that knowledge without sounding like a total know-it-all. And honestly, it's this simple. Our source is super clear on this. Before you get into any complex life hacks, the #1 most important first step is just to read. That's it. Fiction, nonfiction, whatever. Just read. This slide is just brilliant. It perfectly shows that it's not about being right, it's about being effective. On the left, you've got the, well, actually guy. We all know one. He's technically correct, but he just killed the conversation. But on the right, someone is sharing the exact same fact, but in a humble, cool way that actually keeps the conversation going. That's social intelligence.
And that leads us to this golden rule. Real intelligence isn't just about the facts in your head, it's how you communicate them. If you can teach someone something new without making them feel stupid in the process, you don't just seem smart, you seem wise.
So you've been reading. That's awesome. But how do you actually make any of it stick? Well, this next section gets to the heart of the matter. Your brain is a ruthlessly efficient machine. If it thinks a piece of information is useless, it's gone. This is basically the fundamental law of learning. You can read about something, but if you never use it, your brain flags it as junk and throws it in the trash. Practice is the signal you send to your brain that says, hey, pay attention, this is important, we need to save this. And here's the good news. You don't have to be an expert from day one. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule. According to our source, learning just the first 20% of a skill is often enough to get you 80% of the results you want. That early practice gives you a massive return on your effort. I absolutely love this analogy because it's just so true. You can watch 100 YouTube videos about tying a tie, but you won't learn a single thing until you've got a tie in your own hands, physically fumbling through the steps. Learning and doing have to happen at the same time. Okay, but what about skills you can't just practice, like jump-starting a car? Well, the source gives us a brilliant little workaround: mental practice. You read how it's done, you watch a video, and then, and this is the key part, you vividly imagine yourself doing it, step by step. You're basically tricking your brain into creating a memory of an event that never happened, which makes it stick. You know, this is such a great way to reframe something we all used to dread: the test. Why do schools use them? Because a test is just a made-up scenario designed to make all that abstract information suddenly useful. It's a simulation that forces your brain to retrieve and apply knowledge, proving that it's worth keeping around. And that is exactly why doing practice questions is so much more powerful than just rereading your notes. Passively reading is weak. Actively trying to solve a problem is the practice. It's the mental version of having that tie in your hands.
So we know we need to read, and we know we need to practice. So what's the ultimate tool that combines both of these things? Let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, the humble, often dreaded textbook.
Yep. The source does not hold back here. As far as learning formats go, textbooks are ranked S tier. For anyone who's not a gamer, that means the absolute best of the best, the top level. Not videos, not articles. The textbook is king.
And this chart lays out the argument perfectly. When you compare them to something more passive like a video, textbooks are just built for learning. The information density is way higher. They're packed with practice questions. There are way fewer distractions. And all of that leads to much, much better long-term retention. They are built for active learning.
But let's be real. This is the hard path. A textbook is a challenge. It's not like a video you can just put on in the background and forget an hour later. Our source says the textbooks are the tool for people who are actually serious about doing the deep, rewarding work of real learning.
So, we have covered a lot of ground. We've debunked some myths, we've laid the foundation with reading, and we've uncovered the secret to making knowledge stick. So let's put it all together into one super simple action plan. It really all comes down to this simple, powerful loop. Step 1, read something to get new information. Step 2, immediately practice it, either for real or in your head, to make it useful. Step 3, repeat. That's the whole game. That is the engine for getting smarter.
And there you have it, a straightforward, no-nonsense plan for how to get smart. The system is simple, the tools are right there. So I guess the only question left to ask is the one right on your screen. What will you learn first?